Hello everyone, this is Billy. A crystal radio allows you to listen to the radio without a battery magically. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can build one using DIY components. If you like this type of video, please click like, subscribe, share with your friends, and click the bell so I can let you know when the new video is out. First component in a crystal radio is the coil. We need to find an umbrella where you can remove the canopy from the tip easily. These are available on the online shopping store. Then we need to buy this thick drinking straw. To prepare it for the wires, let's punch in 12 holes next to one another on each of the 8 drinking straws. Then we need to cut the slits to let the wire into the drinking straw. This is how you can push the wire into each slot when you are wiring the coil. You need to cut out another piece of drinking straw. So together with the longer piece where you have all the punched holes, the two of them can make up the entire bin. So we can hold it together and the coil won't have the tendency to fall into the center of the umbrella. So we always keep the coil at its maximum diameter. We can now push all the drinking straw in, the one with the holes at the outer side of the bin. Then we need to find some wires, 0.3mm or SWG30, or you can have thicker wire which will be better, 0.5mm or SWG25. For best quality and performance, you can try to buy some Litz wires, L-I-T-Z. Litz wires are wire with very miniature insulated threads within each cable. So those will have a better performance and louder outputs. Let's start wiring. Total 12 turns. Once we finished, we need to cut out the sleeves on each turn to create a contact point or the tapping point of a coil. So you can use the alligator clip to select which turn you need to hook up the detector, the ground, and the hot end, which is the end connecting to the antenna. Let's measure the inductance using the LC meter. The inductance is around 230 microhenry. As the diameter and perimeter of the umbrella may change when the wind blows, so let's take a more conservative value on the inductance to be 200 microhenry. We put this into the LC resonance calculator on the web, and the AM/MW broadcast range starts from around 500 kHz. The variable capacitor need to reach 500 picofarad. So let's create a variable capacitor that can support that. To make the variable capacitor, we need to get two 500 cc aluminum cans. We cut out the top from one of the cans and cut out the bottom from the other one. So this is the one where the top has been removed. We just mount some wire using some screws. And this is the other one with the bottom removed. We also mount some wire and put in a handle so we can move it easily. Then we clamp the can a little bit so it can be pushed down to the can in the bottom. We need to find a PVC film that acts as a separator or insulator between the outer can and the inner can. So that's how a capacitor works. Two metal plates close together, insulated by air or by an insulator. We need to drill a big hole at the bottom of the bottom can and then pass the wire from the top can through this hole. so we can connect the wire later on. Then we mount the button using another plastic cover, so we can hold it without affecting the capacitance. When you hold the can, don't hold the aluminium, hold the plastic bottom or the plastic handle. Let's measure the capacitance using the LC meter. We find the maximum capacitance is over 500 pF. That meets our requirement. To listen to the music of a crystal radio, we need a high impedance earbud or high resistance earbud, and we usually use a buzzer to make it. You can get this passive buzzer or this type of active one, but just remove all the components or wire directly to the metal plates. Then we need to create the tip for our earbuds to channel all the sound into our inner ear. So we cut out around 2 cm from the tip of a ballpoint pen. Polish it by sanding it. Then we insert a silicone tip. This makes yourself very comfortable wearing it. Also seals all the sound. Make sure all the sound gets into your inner ear. And use this type of super glue to glue it in place directly above the opening of the buzzer. This is very important to have a channel to channel all the sound, the tiny sound, into our inner ear. Otherwise, even you've got a buzzer, no matter how hard you press the opening against your ear, it still won't sound great. Cut out the wings and polish it. Insert the silicone tip. And now you got a working crystal earbud. When you use it, make sure you connect a 200k ohm resistor across the 2 terminals. This is the circuit diagram. It's a conventional simple crystal radio that output to a crystal earbud. So you see the 200k ohm resistor connected in parallel with the crystal earbud. Let me explain how you hook up the crystal radio, this umbrella crystal radio. So this is the whole piece. And let me zoom into the coil part first. First, you need to find a few alligator clips with different colors, so both ends of the wire has the same color alligator clip, so it's easier to follow. So I got the white one for the hot end of the coil, the yellow one for the tapping point, that is the place where you hook up the detector to, and the green one for the grounding or earth connection of the coil, or we set the cold end of the coil. Let's start with the hot end, the white alligator clip. So one end connects to the most outer turn, that is the turn with the largest diameter. Starting from that turn, you can clip your alligator clip to contact this contact point, and the other end you connect to one of the 2 terminals of your beer can variable capacitor. Okay. Then the green alligator clip connect to the coil, the turn with the least diameter. That means the turn that is closer to the center of the umbrella, the one with the smallest diameter. Okay, and the other end of the green alligator clip, that is the same wire. We got a Y cable here. That means there are 2 alligator clips in green. They connect to the same contact point. So one of them connect to the second terminal of the beer can variable capacitor. Then the other alligator clip connects to one of the 2 terminals of your crystal earbud. Remember we said we need to put a 200k ohm resistor across the two terminals of the earbud. So the second terminal has the resistor as well. Okay, so let's go back to here. The yellow alligator clip, this one connects to the tapping point of the coil where you want the detector to get the signal from. So you can try each one of these turns between the white alligator clip and the green alligator clip. So when the signal is strong, you move it closer to the green alligator clip. That means towards the cold end of the coil. When the signal is weak, you move your alligator clip, the yellow one, towards the white alligator clip, that is towards the hot end of the coil. When you don't know what happens, just try at the middle one. That means the middle number of turns. Start with that and either move up or move down as you go on to find the best tap with the best sensitivity and selectivity. So the other end of the yellow alligator clip we connect to a diode that we use as the detector. The diode I'm using is called 1SS86 or 1SS106 or 1SS195. They are all very good Schottky diodes with a very low forward voltage drop, like less than 0.1 volt. Okay, so you can find other replacements depending on what is available in your space. But don't use the silicon diode. You can use germanium diode or Schottky diode, but never use silicon diode because they are known to have a very large voltage drop, like more than 0.7 volts, which will kill your crystal radio. Okay, so one end of the diode connects to the yellow alligator clip. The other end connects to this red alligator clip, which is then connected to the other terminal of your crystal earbud, this one. And remember, we said we need to have a 200k ohm resistor across the two terminals of the earbud because the earbud is a capacitive device. For it to function well, you need a DC path, which is provided by the resistor. So after the diaphragm of the earbud moves to one side, you need to release the charges to return the diaphragm back to the normal state before it can make the next sound. Otherwise, you will find some cracky sound or doesn't sound at all. In certain situations, you can bypass or skip this resistor. That is, there's already some leakage current going on. Well, it depends on the situation, right? To be safe, you can always try to put the 200k ohm resistor across the two terminals. We can even replace the diode with some self-made detector, like the foxhole radio detector using a razor blade and a pencil. Let's start some field tests. I'm testing this in an area with a very strong signal. The transmitter is actually across that bridge over around 3 kilometers away, so I can receive very strong signal. That's why my umbrella antenna, just put it on the floor without another external long antenna, and I can receive very loud signal, sharp and clear. Sometimes you want to try other tapping points to receive certain station because it impacts the impedance and the selectivity as well.
大家如果有啲點唱，真係想點俾某一啲嘅朋友仔嘅，自己有好耐冇播嘞喎，好耐冇聽嘞喎，咁你又想聽下喎
？Remember, it's been so busy over the last few. Oh. 有周華健嘅《濃情化不開》，1872312，轉個頭繼續接聽你哋嘅電話，新聞之後㗎啦嚇。看不清那未來，情越長。
It is a lot of money, and then you have to queue up in one floor.
比分手更殘忍。若愛你，卻要你犧牲，怎麼可算清醒？Oh my goodness!
And you are with a few hundred people on that boat, all right? And then that boat, you think it is going to go somewhere really cool? No, the boat is just going to move about 50 yards out. You know, so it is just too far.
I'm now testing in a place with a low signal strength. I've hung a 5-meter antenna on the treetop. Then I connect the other end to one of the tapping points of the coil. You can try each one and see which one has better performance.
我哋永不停步。珠江經濟台融媒新聞節目《珠江晚高峰》直達熱點，民生百態，科技前沿，文化探索。40%的患者在疾病治疗3年之后，仍然非常担心肿瘤会再次出现。目前呢，我们来看到腺癌的治疗效果还是非常好的。一方面，老龄化初期它发生远处转移的几率较低。另外，在世界范围内，腺癌的研究也比较透彻了，治疗手段丰富有效，所以大部分乳癌患者达到了治愈的效果。来自中日友王林平教授为我们分析了。
需要半鐘啊，就可以從廣州市中心海市近咗廣州同上海之間嘅時空距離啊。咁另外咧，廣州東站喺今次嘅調圖之後咧，不再辦理
癌的基因，我们叫
車業務啊。
BRCA1 跟 BRCA2 已經是密切相關的。簡單來講，能夠使腺癌一個情況。在這裡我要特別提到的一個就是激素的途徑
石橋美都大街嘅時候發生自然事故，
節中期
造成咗2人死亡、2人受傷，咁同時咧導致8輛嘅停靠車輛係不同程度嘅受損嘅。
Thanks for watching. This is the end of the video. If you have any question, please leave me a comment in the YouTube description. Signing off and 73 from BillyCdiy.